Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
COVID deaths have hit a new low in Illinois. Medical experts warn of what the fall and back-to-school season may bring. The city announces its latest Forward for Fun initiative event. It pays tribute to the Italian background of one of Rockford's restaurants. And cyclists from all over the world come to the state line. A look at the race through Winnebago County. Good evening, I'm Taylor Castro. Thanks for joining us tonight. One person is dead after a crash in Winnebago County on Saturday. It happened just before 4:30 near McDonald Road and Sage Hen Trail in Roscoe. The driver of one of the vehicles was pronounced dead on the scene. The people in the other car were taken to the hospital. It's not known what caused the crash. The name of the driver has not been released. Illinois just hit a new low in the number of COVID deaths recorded in a month. 41 deaths in July. That's the lowest since the pandemic started. The number of people hospitalized is also down. The Centers for Disease Control says Illinois hospitals are treating an average of 128 COVID patients a day. The federal government ended its COVID emergency declaration in May, but medical experts say that doesn't mean there's not still a threat. The predominant strain circulating now is a subvariant of the Omicron strain from late 2021, and current vaccines are made to fight that. Still, the FDA is working with vaccine makers to update boosters for the fall. Last month was a record breaker for recreational marijuana sales. In Illinois, the state's regulating department says July's sales topped $140 million. That's the highest this year and the second highest monthly total since pot was made legal in the state. Most of that was bought by residents, but nearly $36 million was spent by out-of-state visitors, most of them coming from Wisconsin. Gas prices have been skyrocketing this summer, driven by increased demand and reduced supply. Last week, the average price in the U.S. hit $3.80 per gallon. AAA says the biggest factor right now is supply chain issues. It's the heat. Refineries aren't designed to operate in temperatures above 95 degrees.
We've seen a lot of refineries have trouble with the heat, and so they're doing a lot more maintenance, a lot more repairs, and have a lot more downtime than they typically do.
Most of America's refineries are located in the South, in states like Texas and Louisiana, where temperatures have soared into the triple digits for most of the past month. Economists predict gas prices will drop by October, but hurricane season could lead to more short-term price hikes. Federal employees may be doing a lot less work from home this fall. The White House Chief of Staff sent an email to cabinet leaders instructing them to increase the amount of in-person work for employees. He added that in September and October, government agencies should aggressively push to get workers back in the office. The announcement comes amid pressure from business leaders to reduce remote work following the pandemic. Tomorrow starts jury selection in the trial against former House Speaker Mike Madigan's longtime Chief of Staff. Tim Mapes is facing perjury and obstruction of justice charges stemming from his grand jury testimony about Madigan. He was offered immunity for his testimony if he told the truth, but prosecutors say he didn't to protect his former boss. If convicted, he could get 25 years in prison. City leaders and local organizations announced a special event that will be coming to the 14th Ward. Ferragosto will be held at Lino's in Rockford on August 26th. It's part of the city's Forward for Fun initiative that gives each ward $10,000 to host events that bring the community together after the pandemic. The Italian holiday Ferragosto loosely translates to August Fest. Food and beverage sales from Lino's during the event will be split among 6 nonprofits.
These nonprofits are either headquartered here in the 14th Ward, or they are citywide or regionally important nonprofits, but they're Rockford institutions. They're Rockford Peaches, the Coronado Theater, and so I like the way that this event ties all of that together.
The event is free to attend. There will be 6 hours of live music, performances, prize drawings, and more. Over 150 cyclists from all over the world and locally come to Rockford for a race through Winnebago County. The world-renowned Gran Fondo New York Cycling Marathon was held this morning. The 60 and 100-mile races began at the Venetian Club. There was food and live music there afterwards. Competitors represent 20 countries and range in age from 18 to 80 years old.
We're more than excited to have people here this year, and I think it's a great way. We have people from all over the world here, Poland, Brazil, Lima, Peru, so high class, high quality bike racers from all over the world.
Rockford is one of 5 cities to host this event in the United States this year. Hiroshima is holding its 78th Peace Memorial Ceremony, marking the day the U.S. dropped an atomic bomb on the city. In the city today, they solemnly remembered, ringing bells and standing in silence. Amid the memorial, officials criticized growing support for nuclear weapons as a deterrent in Russia's war on Ukraine. Hiroshima's mayor saying, as the only nation to have suffered atomic bombings in war, Japan will continue efforts toward a nuclear-free world. It has been almost 100 days since the Writers Guild of America went on strike. SAG-AFTRA joined the picket lines just a few weeks ago. A scheduled meeting could mean that both sides are ready to come to the table. Ashley Dvorkin has the latest from Hollywood.
The first meeting between representatives for the writers and the studios was scheduled for Friday, the first talk since the WGA strike began, and a meeting per request from the AMPTP to discuss negotiations. Thursday night, the WGA negotiating committee cautioned members about expectations, calling out the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers for having an anti-union playbook. The committee did state in the email they won't prejudge what's to come, but noted playbooks die hard and challenged the studios and AMPTP to come to the meeting with a new one and be willing to make a fair deal and begin to repair the damage your strikes and your business practices have caused the workers in this industry. In response, a spokesperson for the AMPTP told Deadline the discussion was to determine whether we have a willing bargaining partner and said the WGA bargaining committee's rhetoric is unfortunate. This strike has hurt thousands of people in this industry, and we take that very seriously. Our only playbook is getting people back to work. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass sent a statement regarding the meeting Friday, calling it an encouraging development, and added, especially as this historic moment continues to have profoundly negative impacts on our economy and many of our community members. She also said she is ready to personally engage with all the stakeholders in any way possible to help get this done. The double strikes have halted productions, and effects of the work stoppage have been felt across the industry. SAG-AFTRA went on strike July 14th. August 9th will mark 100 days for WGA.
That was Ashley Dvorkin reporting.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, things have been pretty quiet for us here as of this afternoon. We've had a little cloud cover kind of thinning out. Now we're starting to see some more clouds work in here from the west and southwest, all tied to an area of low pressure moving across central Iowa. That low will kind of pass to our south later tonight and into the first half of Monday morning. Now, showers, thunderstorms, they have started to develop here across parts of Iowa, moving into west central and central Illinois. This is the area outlined in red that holds the greatest risk for any severe weather here throughout this evening and overnight. We will see some showers and a couple of thunderstorms kind of work in as that low pressure system passes to the south, but I do think any severe weather will stay tied across central Illinois, and that's where we do have a tornado watch and then one active tornado warning. Also an area that has dealt with a lot of heavy rainfall as of late. Heavy showers and thunderstorms moved through central Illinois yesterday morning and afternoon, and they're expected to get repeated rounds of that. So there is a flood watch that was issued just to the south of us. We've really missed out on a lot of that heavy rainfall. We need the rain. We are still in a pretty decent deficit, and while we have had some pockets of heavier rainfall here and there, we most definitely still need that rainfall across northern Illinois, but that heaviest still expected to stay to the south. So here's that low pressure system across Iowa. This will pass to our south, and again, this is where a lot of that severe weather is expected to stay. We actually had one low pressure system kind of this weaker low, now shifting off out over Ohio and Michigan. This is what came through yesterday. and brought us a couple of showers, light rain showers yesterday morning and very early afternoon. So let's time this out here as we go throughout these next several hours into tonight and into tomorrow, because again, I think we still see a few scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms, but a lot of the heaviest expected to stay to the south of us. So we are right on the northern fringe of that. And this particular model keeps all of it mostly to our south. So there could be some areas that don't pick up any rainfall here as we go through the overnight. I'll hang on to an isolated shower mostly south of us tomorrow morning, but then as some drier air moves in, I do think we clear out some of that cloud cover. Temperatures climb similar to where they were today, upper 70s, close to 80 degrees as that wind shifts around to the northwest. We'll keep some cloud cover around tomorrow night into Tuesday. Tuesday is mostly dry, but there is a weak little disturbance that comes in during the afternoon, so that could spark off an isolated shower at best. We're not looking at anything heavy for Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Temperatures are expected to climb back into the low 80s and low to mid 80s, pretty close to where we should be here for the beginning of August is where we're going to stay over the next several days. Notice as that Lee County Fair has done, what am I trying to say? Boone County Fair. I'm getting my counties all mixed up. Boone County Fair kicks off on Tuesday. Very isolated shower Tuesday afternoon. Those temperatures, they will stay in the 80s. We've got cloud cover moving in here as we go throughout this late afternoon and evening. Temperatures in the mid and upper 70s, 78 degrees in Rockford, 77 right now in Freeport. Little humidity out there. Not expected to see that rise over the next couple of days. 79 for our weather watcher Jim here in Rockford. That dew point temperature sitting in the upper 50s and low 60s. So tonight we are down to 63 degrees. Tomorrow we are up to 79, 82 on Tuesday. May see a shower thunderstorm Wednesday. We've got those chances, Taylor, coming up throughout the week, but may not see a lot of heavy rainfall or some much needed widespread rain as we go throughout the week and looking into the upcoming weekend.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The television promos that aired before the World Cup pumped up the USA women's national team, questioning how the rest of the world was going to deal with the mighty American squad. Turns out the world was more than prepared for the United States, because the USA is now out of the World Cup, knocked out in the opening game of knockout play by Sweden this morning. After being held to 1 goal by the Netherlands and held scoreless by Portugal, the USA was again held scoreless today in regulation against the Swedes. The USA had its chances in the shootout, but Megan Rapinoe, Sophia Smith, and Kelly O'Hara all missed shots. It was up to USA goalkeeper Alyssa Nair to save the day. Sweden's Lina Hurtig with the kick. Nair batted it, lunged for it again. It was too close to call. It went to a video review, and it was ruled that a piece of the ball just caught a piece of the goal line, giving Sweden a 5-4 shootout win. The United States suffers its earliest exit ever from the World Cup.
Yeah, it sucks. It's tough because we finally played with a lot of joy and were able to express ourselves, and so proud of the group for that. I thought we played so well and just controlled the game.
Tough way to go out at the end, being that close to it. Unfortunately, that's sports, that's soccer.
Well, the baseball season is more than 4 months old, but it feels like it's just begun for the Cubs over the last 2 weeks. They have won 13 of 16, and they opened some eyes today by taking their series with the winningest team in baseball, the Braves. Once again, Cody Bellinger came up big. 3-3 game in the 5th inning. He ropes a hit. Ian Happ scored, and the Cubs led 4-3. Later that inning, the equally hot Jeimer Candelario singles in Bellinger, and that gave the Cubs some breathing room, up 5-3. Michael Fulmer also came up big with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. He gets the strikeout. The Cubs won 6-4, so they took 2 out of 3 in this series. Well, this is what happened last night in the White Sox-Guardians game. Tim Anderson and Jose Ramirez trading punches. Anderson was held out of today's game. Ramirez DH'd. There were no brawls, just baseball. So let's check it out. Some pretty good baseball, too, by the White Sox. Luis Robert Jr. in the 1st inning nearly had his 31st home run. That shot went off the wall. Robert turned it into a triple, and he drove in a run. 9th inning, tight game. Sox trailing 3-2. Zach Remillard grounds it to rookie Brian Rocchio at 3rd. He uncorks a wild throw. That tied the game at 3. Then Elvis Andrus ate up one of the best closers in the game, Emmanuel Clase, sending his pitch up the middle for a 2-run single. And the Sox defeated the Guardians for the 2nd straight day, 5-3. Well, the Bears had a change of pace today from training camp. They held their annual Family Fest workout at Soldier Field. Rookie tackle Darnell Wright impressed, so did defensive tackle Andrew Billings. Jalen Johnson had an interception. And Justin Fields had some good chemistry going with DJ Moore and Chase Claypool. The downside, several key players sat out with injuries, and Matt Eberflus wasn't happy about that.
When you miss practices, you can't get better. So those guys are injured right now, and we're working them back, and we got a really good staff with Dre and our performance staff to get them back, and when they're back, we'll get in there. But, it's important to have that, when you have guys playing off each other and communicating to each other during the course of any play, offense or defense, that's an important part to it.
Last night was the big night in Green Bay. The Packers held their family night. More than 65,000 fans showed up at Lambeau Field. Jordan Love started cold in 11-on-11 drills, but heated up in the 2-minute drill. Kicker Anders Carlson impressed, nailing 3 field goals longer than 50 yards. Today, the Packers made a bit of news. They released veteran quarterback Danny Etling. He was on their practice squad the last 2 seasons.
Our first Warn Interactive radar, brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More, shows generally quiet skies. We've got a few showers, a couple of isolated thunderstorms tonight, early tomorrow. Temperatures in the 80s through the week.
Thanks, Candace. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at 10.